Take a slow, deep breath, dear listener. Feel the mattress beneath you. Let your shoulders soften and sink. Close your eyes if you wish, or let them blur softly at half-mast while you listen. We are going on a quiet, meandering visit to a place that lives only in slow dreams now, the great libraries of ancient Alexandria. Nothing urgent waits for us there. No hurried scholars, no grand debates, no flames or calamities. Only calm corridors, dust motes, and the hush of pages turning so slowly that time itself seems to doze. Settle in. Allow each word to drift over you like the gentlest evening tide, leaving only peace in its wake. A faint sea breeze brushes your imagination. You notice, somewhere far off, gulls calling once and then falling silent again. Everything grows softer, slower, quieter. Let us begin our unhurried stroll. The harbor is just waking, dyed in milky morning light. Ships sleep against worn wooden piers, their ropes creaking with the rhythm of small waves. A fisher on the breakwater whispers a greeting to the sun, his voice almost lost under the hush of lapping water. We step onto a broad stone path laid with pale mosaics, tiny squares of quartz and marble that hold yesterday's warmth. Your sandals, or perhaps your bare dream feet, meet the coolness of those stones. The salt-scented breeze carries the distant tap of a mallet, gentle as a heartbeat, as someone repairs a mast. Ahead, the sprawling complex of the libraries rises in layers of honey-colored limestone and graceful colonnades, vines spilling lazily from pots on every balcony. We are in no hurry. Feel the cool air slide along your skin. Hear in imagination the soft cry of a cormorant and the faintest rustle of palm leaves. We linger at the threshold where the city's hum dims to a low murmur. The first courtyard is wide and quiet, paved with smooth alabaster that glows in the morning. There is the distant patter of a broom as an attendant sweeps yesterday's dust into a neat pile. Swish, swish, pause, swish. Pigeons coo under the roof's shadowed eaves, their wings flicking now and then, a soft percussion echoing in the stillness. Tiny fountains murmur at each corner, releasing lazy rings of water that kiss the surface and vanish. Jasmine vines climb trellises and exhale a delicate sweetness, blending with the sharper scent of papyrus that drifts from the open doors ahead. Somewhere behind us, a bronze bell chimes once, low and velvety, calling no one in particular. We step beneath an archway into a cool colonnade. Columns of pale limestone stand like quiet sentinels, their capitals simple, undecorated, content just to bear the weight of the ceiling and nothing more. The marble beneath your feet feels almost silky. A cat slips past, sleek, silent, utterly at home, tail aloft in gentle greeting. She pauses, stretches luxuriously, and then pads on, her claws ticking once against the stone. A librarian in undyed linen moves slowly between the pillars, arms full of fresh reeds for quills. His sandals sigh across the floor. The faint scratch of charcoal on papyrus comes from somewhere distant, steady and rhythmic, like rain tapping on a roof far away. Follow that quiet sound and we find ourselves at the doorway of the scriptorium. Inside, the air smells of fresh ink, dusty parchment, and gentle lamp oil. Rows of low wooden desks line the walls. Scribes sit with curved backs, quills poised, each movement deliberate and slow as though time itself is thick and honeyed. You can hear the hush of quill tips brushing papyrus. Scritch, pause, scritch, never hurried, never loud. Between the desks, tall clay jars hold ground pigments, muted ochre, faded umber, the palest green of crushed malachite. Occasionally a scribe dips a reed into one jar, lifts it, and lets a bead of ink fall back with a soft plop. Outside the high windows, gauzy curtains breathe in and out, stirred by sea air, and the curtains make a faint sigh, like linen dreaming. Across the room stands a tall shelf of papyrus scrolls, each loosely tied with dyed wool cords that hang like ribbons in faded blues and greens. Dust glows in the window light, twirling slowly before it settles again. A young assistant tiptoes past, balancing a tray of newly mixed ink. Tiny clay lamps line the tray's rim, their wicks hardly flickering. You can almost feel the temperature here, a gentle coolness against your skin, warmed only at your fingertips by a traveling shaft of sunlight that drapes across the desk. Outside, a dove calls once, hoo-hoo, and then quiet returns, pillowy and comforting. We leave the scriptorium with footfalls soft as feathers. The hallway beyond is narrower, walls painted in calm earth colors, sandy beige, faded terracotta, a muted ocean blue. Tiny niches house delicate statuettes of simple household gods, each figure no larger than your palm. They stand guard over nothing more than quiet. A clay cat curled into itself, a miniature amphora, a figurine of Isis with her hands folded. You pass them like dreams pass through a fragment of sleep, noticed, then forgotten, leaving only a sense of gentle presence. Soon the corridor widens, opening into the great reading hall. Yet even here, grandeur is disguised in softness. Cedar shelves 30 cubits high rise like forest trunks, but the wood is worn smooth by countless quiet fingertips. At intervals, simple ladders lean against the shelves, their rungs polished pale where sandals and bare feet have climbed for generations. Low tables occupy the center, each with a single oil lamp and a shallow bronze bowl of rose water to moisten parchments that have grown stiff. A scholar sits at one table, face partly hidden behind a scroll. You hear the faint swish of a page unfurling, followed by a whispered sigh of contentment, as though he has located a passage as comforting as a lullaby. The air holds a faint resinous sweetness from the cedar, mingling with distant traces of beeswax polish. A window high above lets in a pale rectangle of light that drifts slowly down the wall like an hourglass of brightness. As it slides, motes scatter and drift, each one spinning, turning, descending lazily. You feel time stretch and soften, becoming the gentlest blanket. A distant gull cries again, the sound softened by thick stone walls until it resembles nothing more than a breathy whistle. Outside, perhaps, sunlight glimmers on the sea. Inside, everything glimmers on the inside of your eyelids, a soft, golden haze. Past the reading hall, another passageway leads into a garden court that few visitors see. We step out into filtered sunlight, where citrus trees lean sleepily against whitewashed walls. Leaves stir with the faintest breeze. Shh. Pause. Shh. And the scent is fresh, sweet, and faintly bitter. Under one tree, a wooden bench waits, its surface silvered by time. Someone has left a half-finished clay cup of date wine there, forgotten as the afternoon drifted. A honeybee dances above it, then settles, content. Water traces a gentle arc from a small stone spout into a basin below, each drop landing with a mellow note, plink, 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 a lullaby in miniature. In a shaded corner, rosemary and sage grow in clay pots, their fragrances mingling into a dusty, calming perfume. Stay here for a moment. Feel the warmth of the stone bench at your back. Listen to distant footfalls echoing through hallways you cannot see, then fading into silence. Perhaps you run a finger along the edge of a citron leaf, waxy and cool. When you breathe in, air fills your senses with mingled notes of ripe fruit, cut herbs, and faint salt carried inland from the sea. Even the sunlight here seems to hush itself, as though unwilling to disturb the sleepy garden. You might think of nothing at all, only the weight of your limbs, the steadiness of your breathing, the mild fragrance around you. Everything else can drift away like a leaf on gentle water. Good sleep and good night.